Hi everybody and welcome again to Mike's Hidden Histories. I'm here in the centre of O'Connell Street in Dublin, and here behind me is a statue erected in 1893 to honour Father Mathew. And in Cork, in the main street in Cork, St. Patrick's Street, there's another statue erected in 1864. And in Limerick there's a Father Mathew Bridge and there's a Father Mathew Quay in Cork. And I got me wondering, who was this man that he was able to command such a presence of the main streets of two of Ireland's main cities? Now, his story is very interesting, in fact, and he had a huge impact on 19th century Ireland. He was a temperance reformer, and his name was Father Theobald Mathew, and this is his story. He was born in Thomastown near Golden in County Tipperary in the 10th of October 1790, and he came from a well-off family, in fact, and so attended a private school in Thurles, then went to St. Canice's Academy in Kilkenny, and he decided to become a priest. So in 1813 he went to Maynooth College in County Kildare to study for the priesthood. Then he spent a year there because he had a falling out with the college, so he joined the Capuchin order and became a priest, a Capuchin priest, in 1813. At that time, he was sent back to Kilkenny for a year, and then he was transferred to Cork, and this is where he had his main impact in Irish society. Now, he was hugely popular in the city, and he became famous for his work, first of all, during the cholera epidemic of 1832. He actually purchased a graveyard for the poor, for everybody, in fact, where the poor could be buried with dignity and free of charge, those who died during the massive cholera outbreak in the city in that year. Now, he saw the huge poverty throughout the city, and he saw one of the reasons for poverty was the abuse of alcohol, the overconsumption of alcohol, excessive consumption of alcohol by so many people. It was embedded in Irish society at that time. Temperance societies had been established in Cork in the 1830s, but they weren't very successful. It wasn't until Father Theobald Mathew became president of one society in 1838, the Cork Total Absence Society, that it began to take off. And his impact, he was really committed to the reform of Irish society and the elimination of the abuse of alcohol. Now, in the first 9 months, 150,000 people took the pledge. Now, taking the pledge meant that you would promise that you would not take alcohol for any time for the rest of your life. So this became very popular throughout Ireland, and he moved throughout Ireland. For example, in over 2 days in Nina, County Tipperary, 20,000 people enrolled and took the pledge. In Galway, actually over 2 days, 100,000 people took their pledge. In Dublin City here, he came to Dublin City and over 70,000 people over 5 days took the pledge. And again in Castlebar in County Mayo, over 85,000 people took the pledge. In fact, in the 1840s, the mid-1840s, between 3 and 4 million people it's estimated, had taken the pledge to society. And we can see the impact of that. The production of whiskey, in fact, went down 50% between the mid-1830s to the mid-1840s. And we see it also in crime, for example, the reduction in crime. Those jailed in 1839, 12,049, but that had dropped to 9,845 in 1845. And then the death sentences, 69 people sentenced to death in 1839, 14 sentenced to death in 1846. So he did have a big impact on society, his temperance society. His popularity grew to such an extent that he went to Glasgow in 1842 and enrolled hundreds, thousands of people there. Also London, also Liverpool, also Manchester. These were the centres, heavy centres of Irish population in those cities. In 1849, he goes to America. Now, he had a stroke in 1848, But that doesn't stop him going to America and spreading the word of temperance in America. There were temperance societies in America. There was a temperance society in Britain which started in 1823, in Ulster in 1829, but his society seemed to have caught the public imagination. His status is such that he has dines with President Zachary Taylor. The vice president at that time actually attended one of these meetings, and Congress itself honoured him, presented him with a number of honours. So he was well known and well regarded, hugely regarded in the United States. He travelled through 25 states, and over 600,000 people in America took the pledge. However, there was controversies as well during his trip here. Let's go back to 1841 in Ireland here. At that time, the American abolitionist, slavery abolitionist Charles Lennox was touring Ireland. And while he was here, a petition was signed by 60,000 people calling on the Irish in America not to engage in or support slavery. Two of the signatures in that were the Liberator, the famous political leader at that time, Daniel O'Connell in Ireland, and also Father Mathew himself. Now, when he's in America, he refuses to condemn slavery. Apparently, many of his hosts there were slave owners themselves, some of them Irish, in fact. And he said there was nowhere in Scripture was slavery condemned. Now, another abolitionist who had been here in 1845, Frederick Douglass. And Frederick Douglass in Cork had taken the pledge, in fact, from Father Mathew. He was outraged by this, and he denounced Father Mathew's refusal to outright condemn all forms of slavery. Now, by the 1851, his health has disimproved again, and he comes back to Ireland. At this time, because of his absence, perhaps his long absence from the country, those who had taken, the numbers who had taken the pledge had fallen, and a lot of people had fallen by the way again. He retires to Cove in County Cork, and he dies on the 8th of December 1856 at the age of 66. So there's the story of Father Mathew, a temperance reformer in Ireland, had a huge impact on Irish society, so much so that he has his statue on the two principal streets of this state, in O'Connell Street in Dublin and in Patrick Street in Cork. That's all from Mike's Hidden Histories. More next time.